Hi and welcome to this edition of Tigunia TipTok. Today we're going to be talking about how you can clear receivables and payable balances using payment method codes. A lot of companies and a lot of users use payment method codes to segregate your vendors and your invoices and process their payments separately or in groups, but I'm going to show you today how you can use those payment method codes to actually clear receivable and payables in the event you have cash sales or credit card sales, something like that, so you don't have to do the invoicing and the receipts or the payments individually. So let me show you how that's done. If we take a look at Business Central, one of the first places we're going to want to go to is the payment methods. So if we click on payment methods or navigate to payment methods, you're going to see I got a number of payment methods here. And like I said, a lot of companies just use these to separate their vendors, group their vendors or their payments in certain ways. But we're going to focus on a couple of them down here. The one that's check, that's going to be all by itself. That'll be normal checks that we're going to do. But then we have cash payments and also special payments. The trick to closing receivables and payables using payment methods is by using the balance account type and the balance account number. So as you can see here for the cash, I've got a balance account type, a GL account, and the balance account number of the 10300 account. For the special payment, I'm using a bank account as the balance type and the checking account as the balancing bank account. As long as there's something in these balance accounts, these balance account numbers like these two have, then whenever you post receivables or whenever you post sales invoices or purchase invoices, the system will automatically clear those receivables or payables with a payment document to that specific GL account or bank account so that you don't have to do it later. Let me demonstrate how this is going to be done, and we're going to be using sales invoices in order to do that. So if I go over to my sales invoices, I actually have 3 of them set up. This first one, if we open up and we scroll down to, we're just hitting a GL account, but if we scroll down to the invoice details, you see that this one has a payment method code of blank. So when we post this sales invoice, it's going to create a receivable for the customer. For the next invoice, we have a payment method of cash. So when we post this one, it should clear that receivable to the 10300 account. The last invoice has a payment method code of this special code. This one should clear itself to the bank account ledger. So we're going to show how each of these 3 works. This one, as we mentioned, is going to be fairly easy. I'm going to go ahead and post this one. You see it's now gone. If I go over to the customer ledger entries, and we'll go ahead and sort these by the last entry number in descending order so we can see the entries that we just posted. So now if we scroll over here, you'll see that we have this invoice that we just posted against that sales invoice for $250, and the remaining amount is still there. So we've got a receivable balance that is still on that for the customer. Let's go over now to the sales invoice again. And this second one, you recall, was the one that had the cash payment. So I'm going to go ahead and post it from here. No need to go into it again. So I'm going to post it from there. And so that one's now gone. It opened up the posted invoice, which we didn't need to see. But now if I go to the customer ledger entries for this one, you'll see that here was the original invoice line for $350 this time. But then the system also added a payment of $350 to clear that out. So I no longer have a receivable balance. If I take a look at the general ledger entries, though, and I didn't have a quick link to that one, so let me search for the general ledger entries. And we'll sort those in descending order so that we can see the transaction. You'll see here's the 4 lines for that last transaction where we had the posting for the sales invoice to account 60200. It initially created that receivable balance, but then there was a payment type that cleared the receivable balance and posted that cash receipt to the 1030 account, GL account, like we told it to. The last one we'll take a look at is the one that had that special code. The special code, as you recall, was the one that was using the bank account for checking as the clearing account. So I'm going to go ahead and post that one. It's going to go ahead and open up the invoice. We don't need to see that again. And now if we go to the customer ledger entries, we'll actually see the same thing that we did with the prior one. You'll see here's the original invoice line for $450, and then there's an automatic payment line to clear that receivable for $450. Now if we go over then to the general ledger entries, and once again, we'll sort it in descending order so that we can see those entries on top. Here's the similar entries for that last one, where we have the credit being posted to the 60200 account, the initial receivable being set up, but then the payment comes in, reverses the receivable, and posts it to account 10100 this time. You recall we posted it to a bank account. So the bank account that we used has a bank account posting group set up so that it posts to 10100. But that also means that if we go over to the bank ledger entry and we open up that table and we sort that in descending order so we can get that first payment on top, you'll see that we have this payment showing up. I was testing earlier, that's what the second line is. But you'll see we have this initial payment here on the top row coming through the bank ledger entries. So that'll give you a bank ledger entry that you can reconcile if you need to. This process also works. We've been using sales orders, but this process also works for purchase invoices, and so you can do that too. If we open up this last one here and take a look at that, for this purchase invoice, you'll see that it's posted to the same GL account, and on the invoice details, I'm also using that special. So if I go ahead and post that transaction, we'll see the same things if we go over to the vendor ledger entries. And let's sort that by entry number in descending order. You'll see here's the original invoice that we just posted for $750, and it was cleared, so there's no remaining balance. The payment was also entered for that one. And if we go to the bank ledger entries for this one and take a look at those bank ledger entries, you'll see that there is a $750 payment for that invoice showing up as a negative entry into the bank ledger. So now that'll be present when you do your bank reconciliation for this, showing that payment going out. So it's a really convenient way if you want to just streamline your process. Maybe you have cash sales at a counter, or you have cash payments or something that you need to post really quickly. You don't want to post the invoice and then go through either the deposits or the cash receipt journal on the receivable side or the payment journal on the other side. You can use this method to streamline that process and reduce some steps. So we hope you found something useful in this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this video so that you can get notified of future videos that come out in our series. And once again, if you have a question about this or any other topic, go ahead and contact us here at Tigunia. We'll be happy to help you with any of your needs for NAV or Business Central. Have a good day.